Hello and welcome to episode 39 of the Just Happy to Be Here podcast. It's me, Tanner, and as always, I'm just happy to be here. I can't believe it. We are on episode 39 of this podcast, and we are just happy that you're here. We are just happy to be here, and we're so thankful that you've decided to join and listen into our podcast. On today's episode, Taylor and I, we talk podcasts, we talk Valentine's Day, we talk about the things that we Googled, and we talk candy. That's right. It's a full episode. So with that, here is episode 39 of the Just Happy to Be Here podcast.
Nailed it.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
there.
My lines are showing up. I think it's gonna work.
You got
If not,
squigglies?
I got some squigglies, man.
It's always good.
Squigglies are always good, except if you don't want squigglies,
That's true.
and then it's not good.
Truer words have never been spoken.
That would be another good name for a podcast.
True.
I wonder if it is a podcast.
Squiggly lines or truer words have never been spoken?
Yes, I would agree with both of those. I think both of those would make an excellent podcast.
I'm in on both. 100% in on both.
Are you a big podcast listener?
Yeah, I would say. Well, probably. Well, let me back that emphatic yeah off real quick. I listen to them pretty regularly. I would say probably to somebody who's an actual like big podcast listener, my level would be insulting. Like, why you dare put yourself in the same plane of existence as me? But I mean,
how dare you?
Yeah, how dare I? But I listen to like right now. I'm listening to 2 podcasts with fair regularity. I would say probably, I don't know, each of them maybe 2 episodes a week.
Yeah.
So
what? Well, you can't say that and then not tell us what podcasts.
That's
to
true.
listen to.
I can't do that. So the first one is called Sound Plus Doctrine. It's Sovereign Grace Music. They're with Sovereign Grace Churches out of Louisville, Kentucky. They've got a podcast that's very, very good. That is a lot about kind of songwriting, but then also leading people specifically in a corporate church setting, how to lead people in terms of with song choice and like the seasons of the world. And so obviously like COVID has come up, like, you know, how do you encourage people with your song choices and your songwriting, and what are the kind of, how do we process that through the lens of the gospel and stuff like that. So
that's a podcast really for, would you say, specifically songwriters and worship leaders?
Yes, but also if you're curious for a peek behind the curtain of what goes through maybe your worship leader's head, or if you're just a music person,
just a curious cat.
Wait,
what was the name of that again? I'm going to write it down so I can put it in the show notes.
Yeah, it's called Sound Plus Doctrine. It's the official podcast of Sovereign Grace Music.
Cool. You said you listened to another one too?
What was that?
You said you listened to another podcast as well?
Yes. So
because so far the first one that you mentioned is way more seems more important than the ones that I listen to. Anyways, go ahead.
The other one that I've been listening to with some fair regularity is called Renewing Your Mind with R.C. Sproul. Here's the thing about R.C. Sproul. He passed away 4 years ago.
Wow.
So he's really killing it in the podcasting game.
Man, that's incredible.
It's like a short radio show that used to be on the radio, and it's like a half hour long, and it pulls from some of his lectures and stuff when he was alive, but just a really smart theologian, and always communicated things in a way that's kind of like he always had like dad humor about him, and so it's just like you feel like your grandpa's talking to you about the things of God, which is, I don't know, that's fun to me. And he's also just very, very, very smart. So,
wow, that's fascinating. That's so cool. I feel like we're going to have more and more of those kind of podcasts because people are creating things that are just going to outlive them.
Yeah.
And then they create some sort of, I don't know, organization or company that's like, we're just going to keep pumping this guy or this girl's stuff out for as long as possible.
Right.
Now, you listen to two very intelligent podcasts, two that probably deepen and enrich your mind and your life as a follower of Jesus. I listen to NBA podcasts.
Yeah.
I listen to two NBA podcasts. One's called The Mismatch, where two guys basically argue about things. And then another one from this guy named The Low Post. His name's Zach Lowe. Fantastic podcast. Hero. I don't know if that's a thing. If there was like a hall of podcast hosts,
absolutely.
he would be one of them. Mostly because he just truly, I don't think he cares what anybody else thinks. He assumes this is who he is as a human being, and he just goes at it. Now, I do listen to another podcast.
Oh snap!
This is, and it's newish, and it has seasons, and it's something that I really never thought that I would be into.
Yeah.
However, I am so much into this. And we've had somewhat of these kind of conversations in the past, but I've mostly been joking around. But the podcast is called Hiding Something, and it's hosted by another one of my podcast heroes, which is a weird thing to have. It's weird to have a podcast hero. But his name is Jesse Carey, and he's done work with Relevant Magazine, but now he has his own little podcast, and it's cool. It's a mini series called Hiding Something, and he basically is talking about like conspiracy theories, aliens, just like the human mind, really, really weird things. And it's just like, it's fascinating. It's like things that I would never read in a book.
Yeah.
But he, tells these stories and has interviews, and it's fascinating. It's called Hiding Something. I'll put it in the show notes. The first season was fantastic. It was kind of talked a lot about like just people who disappeared in national forests. So it's a little creepy. There is some suspense to it.
Yeah.
It does not. There's no renewing of your mind with it. R.C. Sproul has yet to be mentioned, but it's fun.
Man.
But okay, now let me ask you this question.
Ask me this question.
Apparently, I'm just going because we haven't even gotten into the good part of the podcast yet. This is really just the introduction.
Right. This is,
but not to discredit
free.
The introduction.
No.
Yeah, this is for free. This is for free. When you're listening to podcasts, are you also thinking, "Oh, maybe I should do that on the Just Happy to Be Here podcast. Oh, I should try to sound more like this when we do the Just Happy to Be Here podcast." Do you ever think of that?
I do think about that sometimes. I don't know if I think about it in terms of like, well, I should say I try to pick up some things of like, oh, that's a great way to transition, or that's this, I'll notice some things like that. But I don't know that, because like, Tanner, you know this about me, but I worked in radio for a little while, and I don't. Yes, you did. I don't miss like the radio voice thing. Occasionally, my wife Mindy will bring that up, and I'll be like, she'll be like, "Tell me about the weather," and I'm like, "Here in Target."
Sure, let me get to a loudspeaker.
Let me get over to some cashier's access to the intercom. But so I don't necessarily miss that, like the sound thing. But I will notice, like, if a podcast, like their flow, I think is what I've taken to notice more. What kind of goes through your mind with that stuff?
When I'm listening to them and they do something that I would do, it makes me feel better about our podcast. Yeah. For instance, when they say things like, "And there's just no way to transition into this next topic. We're just going to do it. So here we go." And I'm like, I love because they're just like, they're honest with it.
Yeah.
And over the last couple of weeks, I've just been more and more impressed with people who are just blatantly honest.
Yeah,
They're not trying
I
to
like that.
sugarcoat things, or they're just like, this is how it is, and this is how we're going to go about doing it. Not to say that we're not going to try to be better, but it's just like, this is the situation that we found ourselves in, and how am I going to transition from the defense of the Utah Jazz to picking all-stars in the East? It's just it's a little difficult, so we're just going to go, all right, we're going to shift gears here. And Taylor, that's something that I'd like to do right now, is I want to shift gears, and I want to talk about, we are recording our podcast today on February 13th. We're recording it on Saturday morning. It's a cold, snowy-ish day in Nashville. And when I say snowy-ish, I mean I saw like one snowflake, but one snowflake is still snow, which is one too many.
Yeah.
But anyways, how's it in Iowa?
We got several million snowflakes this morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's also like negative 15 outside.
Oh, it's the end of the world.
Yep.
It's truly the end of the world.
Yep.
Anyways, today is February 13th, and it's very important that we talk about 4 things off the top.
Right, absolutely.
Because today is a very important national day for our world.
Yep.
There's 4 things I want to talk about. First one, National Tortellini Day.
Amen.
I'm not saying no to that.
No.
I'm not saying no to it. I'm going to say hello.
Hello.
I'm going to say hello.
National Tortellini
Hello,
Day.
Tortellini. Now, I'm not done eating, because today is also National Cheddar Day. Are we talking about the cheese? Are we talking about money? I don't know, but I'm here for both of it.
I'm here for it.
Third thing, this isn't just national. We're going big. This is Global Movie Day.
Oh,
And then, to top it all off, we're not invited to this party, but we're going to celebrate anyways, because who runs the world? Girls. It's Galentine's Day.
Galentine's Day.
Galentine's Day. I don't know if Galentine's Day was created by Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec. I think it was.
Man, I had this exact same thought in Target yesterday. I was walking through Target, and I was like, saw a Galentine's Day card section, and I was like, did Leslie Knope? Did she invent that? And I don't have a good answer, honestly.
Well, I do.
Oh,
because I Googled it. And we're not, this isn't even the Google section of the podcast,
so
but I just Googled this. I Googled these 4 words. Who
Yeah.
started Galentine's Day? Leslie Knope.
Oh, dang. It was.
What, and by the way, what a fantastic show. You know who somebody who would say that they were just happy to be here? Leslie Knope would say that.
Leslie Knope would say that. Some
You know
would
who
say-
would not say that?
No.
Ron Swanson. Ron Swanson would not say that.
No.
By no means.
No. I'd like to think that Chris Traeger might also say that.
Oh, with enthusiasm. Give me your best Chris Traeger saying, "Just happy to be here."
I am literally just happy to be here.
That was perfect. Nobody could do it better.
Except
Nobody could do it
maybe
better.
Rob Lowe.
Well,
And
even in
a
that
slew
case,
of other people.
that's quite debatable. Because I am literally just happy to be here.
There it is.
That was perfect. You nailed it.
You nailed it.
Now, well, somebody had to. I couldn't let you just do it by yourself. That's no fun. You don't just let one person jump in a pool. You jump in the pool right after them.
Yes.
Not together, because I don't know how the water is.
Right. No, I'm going to let you go first.
We don't need to discuss any more about Galentine's Day, because we are not invited to those parties.
No, we're not.
However, later on in this episode, after we kind of discuss the things that we've Googled previously to Googling who started Galentine's Day, we're going to get into a big debate over candy. We're gonna have some candy talk.
Yes.
Because here at the Just Happy to Be Here podcast, we need to bring the hard hitting truth and opinions, and that's essentially why people tune into this podcast, I'm sure. But Taylor,
boundary pushing content.
Somebody has to talk about candy on a podcast, and it might as well be. It's going to be us. It needs to be us.
We're going to tackle it.
Taylor, what is something that you recently Googled this past week?
So, I Googled a number of things, but the thing I'm going to talk about now is, I just figured, we're talking about Parks and Rec, I just continue, do a little Pert Hapley intro. But I Googled this week because I was really curious because it's one of my favorite songs. I posted lyrics from the first verse. It's actually a great old hymn. We've talked hymns before, right, Tanner?
We talk hymns.
We talk hymns sometimes.
We've not had a hymn talk, but we have talked about hymns.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's a great way to classify that.
On today's Valentine's Day episodes, it's really kind of rude for us to talk about hymns when it's a day for hers.
That's right.
That was the worst joke I've ever made in my entire life. I'm not taking it back.
Oh, man,
I'm not taking it back.
Don't take it back.
But I am stating the fact that was literally an awful joke. Okay. Please continue.
Yeah. So this is a hymn. It says, I was curious because there are like a million versions of a lot of things now, especially I feel like in the worship music world, and it gets more complicated with every worship initiative album. Like no song is safe. They're just pumping them out. There's Shane and Shane's, their stuff. They're on like volume 24 or something. Anyways, doesn't matter. I was curious who actually wrote this, and it actually took a longer time than I realized, but I was looking for who wrote the lyrics to the hymn "He Will Hold Me Fast," which incredibly encouraging. We've talked a lot about the time of life that we're in, Tanner. But if you need something encouraging about God holding steady to His promises through the hope of the gospel, this is a great one. But He Will Hold Me Fast. The answer I found to this question is actually Ada R. Abershon.
What a name.
I know. Ada R. Abershon. And so even though this is a hymn, it was written by a her. So, there you go. Just bringing it full circle, Tanner. That's all I'm
That
trying
was
to
good. Now, something that you should not do while hosting a podcast is point out how well somebody did something. But Taylor, that was fantastic.
Oh, thank you. That's super kind. You didn't have to say that.
Just happy to be kind here. Just happy to be kind here.
Tanner, what did you Google this week? Oh, no.
That's a great question. Before we get there, I just kind of looked up these lyrics real fast, and perhaps I've heard this song before, but I think it is just the chorus where it says, "He will hold me fast, He will hold me fast, for my Savior loves me so, He will hold me fast."
Yeah.
And before the podcast, you and I were just talking about COVID and 2020, 2021, and like where we're at in the world. And I think you and we've mentioned these words to each other in one way or another throughout the past, 13 months or so. I guess really just about a year. But I think for as long as you and I have talked, and we've talked about, marriage and the future and like jobs in transition and changes, it's just like I feel like those 5 words, "He will hold me fast," just come over us again and again and again. And to elaborate, before I jump into what I have Googled, I've been reading through the book of Daniel, and fantastic book, by the way.
Big recommend.
Yeah, but I don't think is there any book of the Bible where I wouldn't say that? Like, I think you kind of, like, why would I, you can't be like.
It's a given.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, like Romans, it might be worth your time. No, it certainly is. But just in the story of Daniel, I think over and over again, his faithfulness, comes out of those words, "He will hold me fast."
Yeah.
So anyways, I really like that. And there's the, "hold me fast." I think that's I'm going to say it. That's worth holding on to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
okay, you asked.
Yes,
go ahead.
Yes, it did. Well, I was briefly going to add on just what some of the most encouraging lyrics from this are in verse 1, which is why I posted it, and it just kind of covers the gambit of situation, the seasons of life, where it says, "When I fear my faith will fail, Christ will hold me fast. When the tempter would prevail, He will hold me fast. I could never keep my hold through life's fearful path, for my love is often cold. He must hold me fast." And just like think about all the seasons that applies to, which is pretty much everything.
Yeah,
and
only all of them.
Only all of them. And then, just as you're talking about, Tanner, the reapplication of those 5 words are to each of those seasons. just very encouraging to me, which is why I posted it, why I wanted to know Ada R. Aberson's name.
Happy Valentine's Day to Ada.
That's right.
Okay, so you were going to ask me what did I Google, and I'm just going to tell you. You don't have to ask me again.
Dang it.
First of all,
Circle back around.
I would say you and I have a lot of similarities, and we are very different human beings.
Yeah.
I love that this podcast, you often, and you don't always have to, but you do often bring this more serious side to things. And I feel as though it is my responsibility, and I felt this responsibility throughout my entire life, is to take things that feel serious and say, well, no, not anymore. We're going to try to make something light out of this.
Yes.
And you Googled, the lyrics to a hymn, and I Googled all-inclusive vacations because Taylor, I need a vacation.
Come on.
I'm exhausted. I need the sunshine.
Yeah.
I need the sunshine so bad. So I Googled all-inclusive vacations, and I might have, hopped around on a few sites for like 3 minutes, saw the prices, and I was like, we're going to need another stimulus check before we can do this. So here's to hoping Papa Joe has us covered. But I Sarah and I, we talked about this the other night. I'm just like, I just need the sunshine. I want to go sit in a lazy river. I want to walk up to the beach. I want to get sunburned. I want to drink a nice fruity cocktail under a, I was going to say balloon, but that's not what it is, under a canopy. Could be a balloon. It doesn't matter. That's just what I'm craving that right now.
Yeah.
And just to kind of get away for a little bit. So here's to hoping that the terrible month of February ends soon. But before February ends comes a very important day where we get to eat candy.
That's right.
And that's Valentine's Day.
That is Valentine's Day.
Taylor, with the few minutes that we have left, I think it's important that we tackle the topic of Valentine's candy. What's good? What's not good? What do you want? What don't you want?
Yep.
So let me ask you this question right off the top.
Yep, hit me.
Chocolate or fruity?
Man, I feel like I ask myself this on a day-to-day basis, not just in reference to Valentine's Day. Chocolate or fruity?
Pebbles or what? I don't know.
Cocoa or fruity? Man, there are sometimes, because I came in with a list, obviously. Came into this with a list. And both are on it. Chocolate and fruity.
I agree.
I think, though, if it's just in a moment and I've got to just make a decision, I think I err on the side of chocolate. Is where I go.
Interesting. I think for this holiday, I err on the side of fruity.
Whoa.
Now, when it comes to chocolate, are you going dark chocolate or are you going milk chocolate?
I tend to drift towards dark chocolate.
Heart healthy.
Heart healthy, man.
Healthy.
I
Gotta
feel like
do
I
it.
can eat more. It's not that I don't like. I love milk chocolate. Love milk chocolate.
Yes.
Love white chocolate. You pick a chocolate. Yeah, probably like that stuff. But yeah, I go dark. Are you a milk guy?
Well, I'm the same as you. We're talking about candy here, so I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
Well, there are maybe a few things where I'm saying I don't necessarily want that. I'll eat it anyways, but I don't necessarily want it. Now,
yes.
I think it's important that we turn our attention to specific candies, and we talk about the ones that we like and perhaps the ones that we don't like. Taylor,
yes.
Are you prepared to draft, or are you prepared to make a list?
I am prepared to draft.
Let's draft Valentine's Day candy. We will both get 3 selections.
Yes. Okay.
And then we will have a final round to burn a piece of candy. Meaning that candy will no longer be able to be resurrected. And there is only one correct answer that we both will share at the same time. Perhaps. Anyways, okay. Taylor, round 1.
Yep.
You, in this, I'm thinking through the lens of when I was in 5th grade, 3rd grade, whatever it was, and we had these boxes, and you would drop Valentines in them. What candy did you want to see, and what candy do you still want to see?
Yeah. Well, for my first pick,
yes,
this is actually a candy that my wife just introduced to me this Valentine's season. And if I was a kid, I would have wanted to see this in there. And
Yes.
this is where that whole fruity chocolate thing gets a little difficult for me, because my first pick is actually a fruity pick.
As it should be.
As it
I would
should be.
think.
My number one pick, Jube Gel Cherry Hearts, made by Bratches.
Excuse me?
Jube, Jube,
Yes.
Gel, Jel, because,
Interesting.
spelling choices, alliteration, I guess. Jube Gel Cherry Hearts. They're like a not quite full. It's somewhere between like gummy and like dots texture.
Yes.
It's somewhere on that spectrum. And
Is it filled with any kind of gooey liquid?
based on the description, you would think so, and I think that would make it even better, honestly. But it's not.
Oh,
It's not.
interesting. All right, I'm gonna have to try some of those.
Yeah.
That's a good first pick. I like it.
Thank you.
Now, I didn't even know that was on the board. So actually, perhaps you blew it. I am gonna take, and this is something, I usually think it's just like an Easter candy.
Yeah.
But I mean, Valentine's Day is basically the front door to Easter.
That's right.
Some would think. I'm going with Starburst Valentine's Day heart-shaped jelly beans.
Say that to me. What did you just say to me?
Starburst Valentine's Day heart-shaped jelly beans.
Whoa! What?
They exist. They exist. They are out there. You can get 11 ounces for $2.99 at Target. I'm just saying.
Wow.
But yeah,
That's
those are and it's it's basically the red kind. Delicious. I'm not saying no to that. I'm saying yes to 2 handfuls of that.
yes.
I'm going to put about 5.5 ounces in each pocket, and I'm going to walk around and have a great day because I'm having jelly beans with every turn. All right. What's your second pick?
Second pick. Before I do my second pick, I do have to make a correction. My wife just texted me from the next room and said that I pronounced my choice wrong.
Interesting.
It's apparently Jube Gel Cherry Hearts. So I apologize, Bratches. Not a sponsor,
Yep.
but I want to be.
Could be.
It's Bratches.
be.
If you're listening, if you're listening, hey, maybe pick us up. But pick number two, from me, I'm gonna have to go heart-shaped Reese's Cups.
You took it.
Was that
That's
yours?
the one.
Oh man.
Oh, for sure. That's the one.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with it.
No, you can't. You really can't.
Really, is there a bad form of Reese's?
No. I mean, if there is, I haven't encountered it.
No. I hope never to encounter it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's no reason why Reese's Hearts should not. Now, how about the pumpkins? Because I think the pumpkins are actually the top ones, right?
Just because
I think those ones give you more peanut butter.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's because there's more going on there. There's more happening. There's more volume.
They up the peanut butter ante, and that's really what I'm here for.
Yeah.
All right, great pick.
Thank you.
I'm a little frustrated with myself because I don't feel like you. I don't think that you were going to take jelly beans with. I don't think you had that on your list. Did you have it on your list?
The jelly beans? No, I did not.
And like I didn't have the one that we don't know the real name to.
Jube Gel Cherry Hearts.
Jube Gel Cherry Hearts, which I am looking forward to trying.
Yes.
As I am with most all candy. Mm-hmm. All right. Second pick.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with, and this is a lame pick. I'm not excited about this pick, but I'm gonna go with it anyways. It's important I think it's important because this is what I want.
Yeah.
I want just dark chocolate from Dove. Dove dark chocolate.
Dude, don't downplay that choice for a second.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Now it's something that I can get year round, but I feel like on Valentine's Day when that is presented to me, I know that I am either I'm loved or somebody hates me and they've poisoned it and they know that I'm going to eat it anyways. So either way, somebody is definitely looking out for me.
Man. That
Yeah,
stuff
that's
is
mine.
So good.
All right, what's your third pick?
Yeah. Well, let me praise that pick just a tad more. It's so smooth. The dark chocolate is perfect. Man, I don't know. You did not need that disclaimer.
I apologize to Dove and all of our Dove fans that are out there listening, and to the bird doves in general. But you can just pop one in your mouth, and it just begins to become part of you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just that, and that's what I think. That's what true. It's the two shall become one, right? you pop one in your mouth, and it's just like now you got a chocolate tongue.
Yep.
And nobody's upset. Nobody's upset. All right, give us your third pick.
So third pick, I think the back end of that especially was a nice description and could very well be applied to, I think, my next choice. But another one that I was introduced to just this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Everything changes when you get married, by the way.
Yeah,
you realize that the things that you like aren't actually the best things out there.
No, which is shocking and refreshing.
Yep. which is also marriage.
Yeah.
Shocking, but refreshing.
That's exactly right. Like a cold shower on a hot day.
Yes.
But my third pick are specifically the milk chocolate melt away Hershey's Kisses.
What?
Yeah, man. If you've ever said to the Hershey's Kiss that you're having, it's good, but I wish there was almost like a gooey brownie soft center. Well,
yes, I've thought about that.
Well, good news, folks, because it exists in the form of the milk chocolate melt away Hershey's Kiss.
I am in.
Yeah.
I need to go buy. I need to go
some.
buy this.
Yeah.
I need all of that in my life.
It'll
again
be
and again.
It'll be in the Valentine's Day section. Just get there.
Oh, I'll be there. They know me. They know me. When I walk into that candy aisle, they're like, "Tanner's back." That's right, I am.
He's back.
That's certainly right. I'm here. Okay, I'm gonna go with sweet tarts.
Oh yeah, that's a good choice.
And there's like all these different variations of sweet tarts.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna, I don't eat them year round. I probably should start because they seem healthy. But I just when Valentine's Day rolls around, it's time for the sweet tarts to come out. It's just how it's got to be.
Yeah.
Now, Taylor, we have made 6 fantastic choices.
Yeah.
There's one candy that no longer needs to exist. In IMO, in my opinion, IMHO, in my honest opinion, does not need to exist.
Yeah, I think I know where this is headed. I feel it, but keep taking us there.
Conversation hearts.
Yep, I knew it.
are garbage.
Yeah, they are. They really
They are straight trash.
Yep.
If there was such thing as a candy god, then this proves that there is a candy demon, because this is not candy. It is chalk. It is chalk.
It's chalk,
and it's not even good chalk.
No,
it's not even good chalk. I'm not putting this. I'm not getting near this. Now the idea behind it, I think, is really good, right? Like someone's like, we're gonna put conversation starters or something that you can. It's a great idea.
Yep.
But they took this really great idea.
Yeah.
And they decided, hey, let's make these things taste terrible.
Yeah.
And that, it's just, they lost it for me. It is shocking and not refreshing.
Yeah.
Shocking and not refreshing. However, Valentine's Day in itself, shocking, but refreshing.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I also want to let you know that I have been scrolling through lists of Valentine's Day candy at Target.com while we've been and I'm starting to see some of the things that I've missed, but I'm okay with my choices.
Yeah.
I'm okay with them.
Yeah.
Taylor, I hope that you have a wonderful first Valentine's Day as a married man with your wonderful wife. Sarah and we went out last night and got some really good food. We sat in a bungalow that had a heater in there.
Nice.
I drank a nice drink. We had a good conversation. I only cried for a little bit. It was fantastic.
Nice.
But all in all, I gotta say, although February is somewhat of a rough month, I'm just happy to be here.
That's right. And I too am just happy to be here. My wife and I, we had a great evening last night. We kind of had to pivot on plan A because my wife has not been feeling well this week. We celebrated with a nice takeout dinner and got a movie rolling. And hey, global movie day, so celebrated in advance. Got that in. Have to. It was a very sweet time. Just spending the evening in together. And
I love it.
I wish you not that last night's celebration wasn't real, but a very, very nice real Valentine's Day tomorrow, Tanner.
Nothing like two married guys wishing each other a happy Valentine's Day.
I've been saying that for years.
Shocking, but refreshing.
Shocking.
I love it. Hey,
But
man,
refreshing.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, man. I'll talk to you later.
Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Just Happy to Be Here podcast. If you have a question or you want to share with us something that you've recently Googled, we would love to hear from you. You can send us an email at writtentospeak@gmail.com, or you can send it to any of our social media accounts. Just search for Written to Speak or Taylor Jarman. You'll find us. Trust me, I believe in your abilities to search the internet well. Before you head out, make sure you check out the show notes. There's some new links in there, and one of the links you can click is to purchase the extended edition of my very first book, I'm All Over the Place, a book of poems, prayers, and wonderings. You can get it from writtentospeak.com, and make sure that you use the special podcast code PODCAST20 to get 20% off of your order. As always, special thanks to my patrons for making this podcast possible. If you would like to support the podcast and the mission of Written to Speak, you can visit patreon.com/written to speak or visit the Patreon tab at writtentospeak.com. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you have a wonderful Valentine's Day and a wonderful rest of your February. We will be back with you in a week or so. Keep your eyes posted. Much love.